fully agree. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay, let's start the first game.
Let's get right into it.
Apocalypse.
Let's go, guys.
Seen this map several times today, but not on this matchup. So on 12 o'clock we get our Thomas, Tarson, Terran in red.
Yeah. His opponent on the bottom left. Let's see if he can score a hat trick. It's going to be StRyKeR as the blue Zerg. Going to be wanting to prove himself after his little bit of a disappointing performance in his first best of 3 here.
I mean, they both had very tough opponents.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We cannot blame them for being in loser bracket. It's just, you know, tough group this one is.
Yeah.
You had 2 casters that actually are having to do so much with StarCraft. Like they watching all the games, they playing all the games, all the tournaments. They are the essence of StarCraft of this game. Imagine not having Nyoken. I cannot imagine Broad War without Nyoken now.
Yeah. No, Nyoken is kind of like one of the pillars of the foreigner community in StarCraft. I'm sure he's probably one of the most well-known people besides someone like Artosis maybe at this stage. But one thing I wanted to note is that Tarson's doing this 8-Rax play, but I also noticed that the mineral optimization of his SCVs in the main were really off. Like, he wasn't vertically mining from both patches. You see these 2 patches 1 and 4 are both not vertically mining. So he's got a very low mineral income right now. This is a big issue for Tarson that he hasn't identified. I don't know if he's a bit frustrated about his current state within the tournament, or if he's just not really been paying attention to his SCVs in general with his optimization, but that's a big issue for Terran, not having these 2 SCVs mining efficiently here.
I just wonder if he actually knows about it, because, you know, 15 years ago nobody cared.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He might be lacking the knowledge here to understand how to get the most out of these kind of positions. And this is like Neo Sylphid, right? At this 12 o'clock position, it's kind of like really optimal to mine if you know what you're doing. Yeah,
well, small things, but it does matter. It does matter. Maybe not on that much on TVZ, but on TVT. Possibly those things made Nyoken on the top of both games. You know, having faster unit, having faster building.
And there's always something you could be doing better in StarCraft to play perfectly, right? For example, here, StRyKeR could have maybe shot the Marine with 1 or 2 spines to reduce the HP on the Marine before backing out with the drone, for example. Like, there's so many possibilities of optimization here.
What's happening?
It's 8-Rax. It's 8-Rax. We need to pull drones.
Well,
that's why he's not
even to... This is the right timing? I think it's a bit too early.
It's a bit early, yes, but this is depending on your style as a Zerg player. This is sometimes considered acceptable because you're trying to intercept the Marines out in the open of the field. Sometimes you can get a better surround on the Marines like that way, rather than, like, say, having to fight them on the ramp here or something with the SCVs body blocking. So sometimes that can afford you a good surround instead of like letting them come here and build the bunker while you're also fighting the Marines.
The bunker is too far away. He'll need another bunker.
He would leapfrog bunkers, so he'll build this bunker further back, and then he'll build a second bunker right up against the creep, but his timing's off. The creep will always be spread too far in time, so the Lings will actually deny this going up, or at least they should deny this from going up.
He's down, and there's enough number of Lings. They won't let in any Marines.
Yeah, this is completely shut down. But this is why you do the drone drill, because what you're doing is you're delaying the timing. You're zoning him out from this timing.
I thought you want to fight not that far away from your hatchery, but definitely StRyKeR had it right.
There's different styles. Yeah, there's different styles and different ways of thinking about that, but that is a very acceptable way of dealing with it because it does zone them out. The thing that's really important is that it allows the creep to spread far enough that they can't make the second bunker close enough to kill the hatchery. So it really does shut out the contingency play from the Terran player.
Right. Yeah. It all makes sense. Okay, so StRyKeR, for me, it looks like very good defense, if not perfect defense. I didn't see any drones going down. I've seen only like 1 or 2 Lings, maybe even less than that, than 2. I think 1 only. I think he's all right. He's in a good position. He cannot obviously create any counterattacks because he's saturating his bases.
Right.
but he's got control.
The thing is that his gas was relatively late, so his spire timing will be slow. So the thing is that Tarson has a chance to do naked marine damage here. There's no sunken colony from StRyKeR, so at the very least here he's going to force lings. If he at the very best he's going to kill a lot of drones. So it's actually been a little bit tricky for StRyKeR. He needs to make sure he makes enough zerglings to deal with this. He has got 6 against these 6 marines, so okay, he's got enough marine. Yeah, he's fine. But he did force a few lings here. Now, if you can as Zerg, you really want to avoid having to make he's killing these SCVs and stuff in the natural ground, delaying the CC a little bit as well, so getting some good damage to Tarson as well, while also having enough lings to deal with this. But now, if Tarson can get back to his base without losing these marines, which he won't, by the way, he's going to lose, I think, at least the majority of these marines.
The speed is in.
It's over. It's over, I think. Yeah, I think this is over with Tarson.
No, not yet, maybe.
No, I think he is, because this Muta's going to be following up behind this. He has 3 hatchery production.
I got it.
There's no way for Tarson to stabilize. He can't even float this barracks back to wall because he'll lose out on marine production. So it's over at this point. He has no zone.
Even though it's only 3 links, but there is all the marines are gone, and there is a follow-up.
Yeah, there's no way of defending this now. Perfect. So yeah, it looks like I don't want to be anticlimactic as a caster, but this game looks like it's all but done for Tarson. He will be able to have some kind of defense, and he will try. But I really do feel like StRyKeR, without making any big major errors here, is going to be able to dispatch Tarson in very quick fashion after killing that many marines.
He almost feels like he doesn't need the second base, Tarson. If he would just focus on his main, maybe then, because Mutas will be able to attack.
But he can't sacrifice these 2 depots. Like there's just so many things.
No. What I'm saying that if he wouldn't start with the CC, but different build order, then maybe he will be in a better position. But obviously that's a big.
With the 8 racks though, he has to float back to the wall, so he has to kind of commit to making these depots and making a wall. But everything's just kind of gone a little bit awry for Tarson in this game, and we see a lot of Mutalisks being in production now for StRyKeR to finally do some potentially critical damage. And Tarson has a window here where maybe he can get his turrets up in time. He scans right as the mutas are hatching. If he starts enough turrets now, and there's a little bit of a hesitation from StRyKeR, and he doesn't just get on top of the turret production right away and just start killing marine after marine as they pop out of the barracks, then maybe there's a chance here for Tarson. He has got a small bio ball here built up, so with some bad micro from StRyKeR, or not being as aggressive as it needs to be.
7 mutas.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
It's the correct number of mutas. So if the micro is on top, the damage is huge.
The problem is that these depots force the Tarson to either engage with the mutas and force a bad trade, or he's going to lose these 2 depots for free. And either way, this is bad. And we don't have a bunker yet set up in the natural expansion. So if, say, the mutas swung back into the main, then the lings can come into the natural expansion and kill the turrets while the marines are defending in the main. So this is a really bad situation. He needs his bunker up desperately, and he needs a couple more turrets. But it doesn't even matter, because StRyKeR can just go into a macro game from here. While he's just playing like pure damage control, StRyKeR can do anything he wants. Currently ahead in supply. He's going to swing back into the main base and take out a few building SCVs here and there, but he doesn't actually have to win the game right now. Like, StRyKeR could just sit back at home and macro behind this and force Tarson to be in full damage control mode, throwing down turrets, making as many marines. He's on 4 racks right now, making just pure bio. He hasn't even teched up yet, so this is still really favoring StRyKeR no matter what happens.
That's right, and the harassment on the natural is huge now. There's no turret. 1 turret is not enough. The high ground will prevent. The scans are on, but how many scans can you have when one comes out? And also we need to save those scans against potential lurkers. We know they're not very near yet, but again, there is a limited number of scans. So hopefully Tomek will figure out how to defend against that. Maybe some mistakes from StRyKeR, maybe some good targeting on the mutas will help. Let's see. It's not terrible. It could be worse. There is a good production of marines.
Yeah, but the issue is that we don't have any medics here with this army right now, and which means we don't have any way of sustaining the fight. Just a single medic coming out to support a whole control group of marines. It's going to be very easy to burn through that energy of that medic and then just keep pressuring him. And the glaives bouncing will have much more effectiveness if the marines aren't all at full HP. So this is when it can start to really get out of control for Terran player. And he can just come in and just tank the turret shots and cycle out the weakened mutas and come back in here for more and more SCV kills. He's already killed enough SCVs to be ahead of the economic curve of the game. and everything else is just a bonus right now. He's just like icing his cake. He's already baked the cake, and it's very delicious and moist, and right now he's just putting the nice icing and frosting on and making it look even more appeasing.
Okay, so Tarson is trying to just pull away those Mutalisks from his mineral line. So he's trying to engage somehow, like pretending that he's going to out attack. Well, it is working, I guess. But we know what's coming. The macro of the Zerg.
It's 83 supplied to 63. It's crazy.
At this point, StRyKeR probably is starting his Hive attack. As you said, whatever he wants. Yeah, Hive is already there.
Yeah.
Lurkers are already there.
He's not even trying to finish the game with the Muters. It's purely just to make snowball his advantage into a bigger one. And finally, when the Terran's allowed to come out onto the map, he's already set up. Look at this. Finally, when the Terran's like, oh, okay, I finally got control. It's like, well, no, you don't. You've got a ton of Lurker Ling to deal with now, too.
Yeah. It's only fighting against different composition of army, which is the true army now. Yeah, there's more Lurkers than Marines, so...
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like game number 1's going to be going to StRyKeR very early on in a convincing fashion, and we might be seeing a Zerg versus Parados next game.
Very unsuccessful 8 racks. Neither of the kind of... No, you didn't kill anything. You lost all the Marines. I think there were 2 SCVs dying as well with that. So yeah, you lost a lot. You lost your build order advantage if you had any. So yeah, unfortunately, well played from StRyKeR. Really good defense on the start.
And he's not missed any beats as well. Like, even though he's going to go for a potential bust here if he wanted to, he doesn't have to. Like, he's got his Nidus Canal set up. He's got Defilers on the way. Just containing the Terran is so terrifying because he's going to get Defiler up to this natural expansion for free, throw down a Dark Swarm, and it's going to be lights out for the Terran player.
Yeah, well, there's no siege, there's no vessel. Science vessel is not there, so that's the huge problem.
Even with the science vessels, they wouldn't be able to kill enough of the Lurkers, right?
No, that's right, but you know, you need at least them to do something against that.
Yeah,
because now you're sitting and watching your death very well. If Zerg decides to die, I'm pretty sure he's got a good chance to win it. But why risk? If you just wait for the cloud.
The orange cloud of death.
The orange cloud, yes, which makes your units invincible. So why not?
I mean, you're absolutely right, and what he's guaranteeing the game state right now, because if he did go for the bust, we're just like sending in the 12 Lurkers, there is a small chance that maybe he barely loses enough Lurkers where the Terran stabilizes, and maybe it delays the Defiler coming. But now, look at this beautiful setup from StRyKeR. GG going to be called instantly from Tarson, and game number 1 going to the American here. So yeah, Tarson's gonna have to really like start to think like a Polish rioter and like put on his armor and like think like a human tank and actually deal with this in a much different way, I think.
Yeah, he needs to change his mindset to something more positive, to something that will create a beast within him. That he well, you know, he is I think he used to be professional player for StarCraft 2. Or like a semi-professional.
He was very good in StarCraft 2. He's got a very good record in StarCraft 2.
He's got the mentality of a winner, so I'm pretty sure he can do it. And you know, he played a lot of games. He lost a lot of games, and he came back from a lot of 0-1 in best of 3. I'm sure of that. So why not this one?
Yeah, why not this one? That's the kind of mentality you need to have going forward anyway, right? Regardless of how true that is or what the actual outcome will be. And you don't be too dependent on the outcome anyway. You should just go in it with your best intentions and play your A game and see what happens.
Exactly. The last thing you want is to say, this guy is better than me. You just don't. You just play your game. You just do your best. Yeah.
I agree with you, 100%.
Okay, so the next map. I'm guessing the guys are banning now and choosing.
Yeah.
Okay, Vermeer for the first time this series, this group. Let's see. Very square and fair map. So I thought until I've been told that CVP is quite
yeah,
different.
it's not quite all that meets the eye on that map. Actually, it does look like it's a very fair and balanced map, but there's a few little skewed differences in some of those matchups. It does look like a very nice balanced map. I will give you that. It's very easy to fool you.
Okay. Let's see for me. So 4 players map. Yeah.
What's your predictions here? Do you think like Tarson can get it together here, or do you think his mental state's not going to be in the best place right now?
This is what I'm thinking. Not the mental state, but you know, he might not be as in good shape as I thought he is.
Right.
You know, I don't know how active he is. He was training for the tournament. I know that that happened 3 weeks ago, but after that, maybe he just said, "Yeah, I'm alright. I don't need to play anymore." But hopefully not. Hopefully he's still on form.
Ooh.
Hopefully that was just a bad tactic to try to do 8 racks, to try to like test your opponent if he is vulnerable on those attacks. But surely StRyKeR shown he's not that easy to beat in the early game.
Oh, he's certainly not an easy person to beat at all. I think both players are ready, so I think we're going to be going live just in a second.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So, top left, in blue, Tomek Tarson.
Yeah, he's been very successful in StarCraft 2. He's an OG player, been playing this game probably before most of you here in the chat. He's been around the block, you know, he's seen it all, but maybe not up to date with the current meta, you know. Maybe a bit like Stork, you know, starting to look a bit like a relic or a dinosaur, but he's still got it, you know, he's still got a bit of bite to him, you know, just because he's a bit of an old T-Rex doesn't mean he still can't chomp your head off, so, you know, still need to watch out a little bit here.
Yeah, the teeth are still sharp, so...
yeah, the teeth are still sharp. You might be a little bit slower and a little bit behind the curve, but... You know, don't be fooled. This guy will still take your head off if you give him the chance. And StRyKeR, his opponent, in the bottom left, looking very strong and stellar in his early game defense and understanding on how to deal with 8 racks very cost efficiently. Let's see if he can go take it all the way here and go 2-0.
First bad news for Tarson. The scout is from the Zerg is correct. So you just fly to find your opponent straight away, unfortunately. But go on. It doesn't change much. He will find his build order. He will understand what's the opening.
Right.
But you don't win by finding your opponent first.
Sometimes it actually can be a disadvantage, because if your overlord is spotting the entrance of the Terran player, but it doesn't quite cover the entire entrance, they can sneak around the overlord and give you the illusion of safety, thinking that he's still in his base, but actually he snuck around the overlord. You know what I mean? And then suddenly you got like 4 Marines and you're natural killing your drones. You're like, what happened? My overlord saw him, right? And you missed out on the Marine sneaking out.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Did it already turn around with the OV?
Yeah, you poke in like about halfway to sort of see if there's like a barracks close to the cliff, and then you go back to not die to the Marine. Now
he confirms. So one STV is coming back home, and the second one is going scout. Yep. Okay, so we got standard opening from the Zerg as well. Nothing too fancy. He likes his gas, he likes his hatchery early.
Yeah, I mean, I like this style as well. I'm a straight up 2 hatch kind of guy, but these guys sometimes also do like 2.5 hatch, you know, having a bit of a middle ground for having the extra production and be maybe a bit more muter-ling rather than just muter. But me personally, I'm much more of a 2 hatch kind of guy.
Yeah, why not? You got so many lava more then. Quickly, and then you can defense, you can build those drones that are mining your minerals that you like. Yeah, why not?
Just one paralink so far, and a nice little depot wall. Actually, going to be trying to optimize the surface area denial in the natural expansion. Can be better than just throwing down the bunker early on. We don't want to make a bunker when you only seen 1 paralink so far.
This is what I was thinking. If you got a SCV in your opponent's base, why bunker?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
you can control all the number of the...
This is even better than Marines. Look.
You sneak out the Marines, if the Zerg And then you put a bunker. Oh, I'm very defensive. And then you suddenly,
he's already killed one of the lings as well. A little bit of panic situation here from StRyKeR. He was considering throwing down the creep there for a second, but instead he's going to have to pull the drones. And now he's losing 2 drones already. 3 drones. Woohoo! 4 drones, DABADEEM. All 5 drones. Biting the dust. The lings coming in from the north to try and get us around on those marines.
I don't really care about marines anymore. Four small zerglings, but killed all
he might have to
5
all-in ling him now. He might be forced to go all-in lings. He might be tempted to. He's going to throw down the spire anyway, but he could have maybe considered going all-in lings here and just hope there's no bunker. He does see there's no bunker with the overlord if he so.
6 marines. It will be 6 marines at the time. 6 marines kills zerglings very quickly with SCV on.
Well, he can deny the SCV scout with the first 4 lings and pull lings up to 16 and then go in with speed, and then he will not have enough to defend that, and that's just before Firebat timing as well.
It depends on the timing of Academy, right?
Yes.
Firebat.
Exactly, but he won't have the. If he makes Firebats, he's not making medics. So then there's still a skirmish play of surrounding it. It's not ideal, but I feel like if he plays a straight up game here, he's going to be in trouble.
My bet is one Rax is making a Firebat and second is making a medic. That will be my bet. I think he recognizes that he's got a nice advantage and he might have forced some additional forces like Zerglings.
With the depot wall, it does really make the ling all-in so much less effective though. So he might have just like gone splat against the wall if he did go for that. So it's maybe a wise that he didn't. But there was a window there where he was maybe considering it because of how bad the game state was after losing those 5 drones. That maybe he felt like, yeah, I need to just go all-in lings here. It looks like Tarson though is going to optimize for the ideal situation of just making 2 medics as well. So I like that from him. He probably identifies that the all-in ling play, which will not be effective enough. Although coming out here is a little bit risky from Tarson. If he did go for all-in lings and he's just pulling lings right now, this is necessary. Yeah, this is necessary because there could be a ling backstab here at the very least of like 4 to 6 lings running in. So we need these 2 Firebats at the back here.
Is he aware about the third base?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell if there was any scans going off on there, so I'm not sure yet.
Because my guess would be I damaged the economy enough so he didn't have the third yet. But I would be wrong, obviously.
I think you should still assume they have the third base, just that they're going to be so much less optimized that they're not even going to be mining gas there. They've got barely any drones.
All right, got it.
Yeah.
This 7 mutas now, they will be devastating.
This is a mistake from StRyKeR to engage the Marines while they're in square formation and they're already stimmed. So he should be a lot more composed here and like wait for these 10-second timing windows, force out stims, wait another 10 seconds, and then come in. He's being a little bit uncomposed in. He has some lings to come in from the back as well. So this is a much better way of dealing with these Marines forces. He needs to be careful not to lose this muta though. This one thing you can do as Zerg is run back the weakened muta before you go back in with the follow-up swipe, so you don't just like get that one muta traded off for free. But sometimes that can be a little bit more attention taxing than you would like, so a little bit tricky to execute.
Still not bad position from StRyKeR after losing those 5 drones. I mean, it could be much worse, but now he's picking up those Firebats for free. That's painful. That's painful to watch.
I don't know if is Tarson a little bit like Mong, where he's just not so comfortable TVZ with his SK style. I've not really seen enough of him recently to know how he's faring in TVZ.
I've seen him against Zero, and he was very confident. he was actually playing his game, and he was on the top of it.
Okay.
But again, he was offline. He was something else. It's you sit next to your opponent.
It's a different.
It is different. It is different. You can read your player, your opponent differently, like much better. It's also different style, right? Because we've got Europeans against. I think every other player was American in this group. So I know it's all the same. It's all mutas. It's all A-Tracks was similar, but it is slightly different. It can be slightly different. So maybe that's what's making Tarson more vulnerable for StRyKeR. But from the other side, StRyKeR is just very solid in this game.
He's looking very solid. He's opened up in this natural expansion as well, sniping that turret, forcing the Marines to come behind the mineral line. He can wait another 10 seconds before the scan and stim run out and then come back in. It's going to be forcing more and more turrets being produced, but the turrets take a lot longer than 10 seconds to build, so StRyKeR can come in and snipe the building SCVs on those. And look, Tarson's not even starting the turrets, so now this natural expansion is going to be opened up. He could threaten a counterattack by just moving out with the Marines right now and force the Marines to turn around, which looks like that's what he wants to go for. But he's going to lose a lot of these SCVs. And he has enough time to come back and track this Bible again.
I think StRyKeR is ahead.
Yeah, he is. No, he's majorly ahead.
Even though he lost so much at the start.
Yeah,
the third base is now so much saturated. It looks so solid. It's like Tarson needs to do something.
As long as he has if he has 2 Sunkens and 3 Lurkers at these bases, there's no way he's doing anything to him right now.
Yeah,
he needs a few Sunkens finished.
Almost exactly what you said. It's 2 losers and 2 not finished Sunkens. Where's the scan? Go on, no, don't lose them. No.
Yeah, that's the perfect defense for him at this stage of the game. There's not really any way of the Terran cracking that for quite some time.
His army is not doing anything. Not here. Maybe the other base, but I don't think so either. So, well, what's the plan for Tarson now?
Well, we're going to see StRyKeR in the natural expansion just hammering on these SCVs of Tarson. Tarson's going to be thinking to himself, good God, what do I do? I need my vessels out. It's going to take me like probably another minute for those to become online. And now I need to start laying siege to the Zerg. But even by the time he starts laying siege to the Zerg, there's going to be so many lurkers to irradiate that he's never going to break through. And there'll always be a defiler in production as well. So he's probably going to be thinking, okay, I need to do something different. I maybe need like a dropship or 2 here or something, some way of coming back in this game. And then he's going to be thinking, oh no, but the mutas are still alive. That means he's got good anti-drop defense. What do I do? There's a lot of things he needs to navigate here, but the mutas aren't too strong in number. So if he does identify that, okay, maybe a lot of dropship play is an idea here. Maybe he can find some window of, say, making 2 dropships after these first 2 vessels and then make a big play into the third base or something. But I don't think that's going to work still. I think even he will just probably stay pure vessel production, and he's going to very slowly lose this game, and a 4th gas is going to be taken by StRyKeR, and Ultras will just overwhelm him.
That's the thing. I've seen Ultras being in Ultras Coven being on the production. Dropships. I think this is something that Tarson actually needs. So multitasking. He's got really decent APM. Let's just make a use of it. Just drop here and there. Just one group on the mineral line. There's nothing to defend it. It will be really effective, I think. But now he's just stuck in one position, and Zerg knows exactly about it.
There's a great spot to drop on here. He can drop behind the spire, and there's only enough surface area to attack from the bottom behind the mineral line in the main base, which is a great spot to drop. He's missed this window. He should have gone for fast 2 drop ships and dropped there in the main would be his best gambit, I would say. But he's missed out that window now.
Unfortunately, you're right. And now Tarson will try. Well, he will find out not only that the third base is now up and running for a long time, but the 4th one is being built and it's already defended, and also he lost all the Marines tried to attack it. So,
and this is the critical point for Zerg. When they get access to this 4th gas after doing this Muto into Lurker into Defiler transition, they finally have enough gas available to them. 1200 gas a minute to produce Ultras. That's 6 Ultras a minute he's able to start producing if he's not making any other gas units. So it's going to be super scary, and eventually Plague will become online as well. So right now there's a healthy count of vessels, and that will continue to grow. But once Plague becomes online, he can just Plague all those, and Mutas can clean up all the vessels as well. So Zerg can start dealing with the Terran very cost efficiently now that he's got his 4th gas coming up online.
I was thinking exactly the same, that the only thing that will keep Tarson in the game is the high number of vessels. Because as you said, the defilers will plug very, very quickly. And as we know, vessels are grouping up. They are in one, pretty much like Muta.
Defiler inside the Lurker. Look at this. Look at this. Like that Lurker's got an energy bar. Ooh, what kind of spellcaster is that unit? It's like some sort of StarCraft 2 like UMS map or something.
Oh, he's got it anyway.
Nice. Very great.
Oh, Marcus went up, but only for 1. he missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. So maybe there's some hope here for Tarson. If there was a few mistakes from StRyKeR going forward, maybe he can overwhelm his position, for example. One thing that would be really cool is if he made a big round of fire bats. Like you make like 10, 12 fire bats and you run underneath the Dark Swarm and gun down the lurkers. If there's only like 1 or 2 lurkers, you can just overwhelm the position. And you can even dematrix one of the fire bats as well. And that's one way you can crack these positions, even though they look so solid.
Yeah, I agree. There's one down. Oh, the plague. Very nice. One fight that I think that works well for Tarson. I think it's the upgrades. Zeg doesn't have the right upgrades. I think it's 0-1 just for the armor, nothing else. Maybe for the Zerglings, didn't see. I've checked that on lurkers.
Well, this is quite common though. Like unless he's going crazy Zerg, this is usually how the trajectory of the grades do take. It's a very big catch-up game for the Zerg, but eventually he will have double Evo, so he'll go up to like he's got 3-1 now, and now he'll go up to 4-1, and that's when it starts to become a bit of a problem for the Terran. But right now there is a bit of a, like you say, the upgrade advantage is in the Terran's ballpark for some times. There's going to be like a 2-3 minute window here where it's somewhat manageable for the Terran, but that will very quickly change. Yeah,
because the swarm here and there, and there is no chance to take another base for Terra if Zarek is doing what he's doing now.
Right. Yeah, it's looking really bad for Tarson going forward here. He's not quite getting the value that he needed out of these science vessels. He has lost quite a lot of them to the Scourge and Plague as well, so it's looking pretty bad, and there's not enough forces here to contain both of the threats here. So he's got a much larger army on the natural expansion on the right-hand side, but this is going to be a beautiful Plague if he doesn't move. Look at that chili sauce. That's going to be a delicious kebab to consume later. My mouth is already salivating at those Terran units.
Yeah, well, I wish for the best for these medics, but to kill all that, you need to be like Dr. Queen or something.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Tarson, unfortunately. He does still have a pretty sizable ball here of bio, so he can still trade with the ultras, but how does he deal with these counterattacks now? He's ain't got bunkers set up at this base yet. If he had like 2-3 bunkers to repair here, maybe he starts to trade decently enough that this doesn't become a problem. But even these small pockets of ultraling are going to trade off enough of these bio units that's going to be really tough for him to have the critical mass that he needs. He's not going to be able to take a 4th gas, and he needs BCs or something. He needs something extra to spend this gas to kind of start to send some threats out onto the map to deny the gas mining of the Zerg and just force him to make Scourge and other gas-heavy stuff to try and deal with that. There's the there's the physics lab coming online, so he identifies it, but I think he's identified it way too late here.
Well, it's still not that miserable in terms of supply. We know that the high tech on Zerg is like reached its maximum part of upgrades, so it is, yeah. We're watching the highest tech against the primitive Marines, right? Well, so yeah, Plague, Swarm, Ultralisks, and Cracklings are just too much.
Yeah, look at this. They're just going to town on these Marines, and there's not really much hope for them. There's a few vessels remaining in the fleet of the Terran forces.
But they need to choose what they want to kill. They can only kill one unit, and except the Ultralisk, they can kill it.
Well, even irradiating the Ultralisk, like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because the AoE of the... Yeah, GG can be finally called, and StRyKeR just very convincing in the series. And
very solid. He came back from a little disadvantage, maybe even bigger than we thought, losing those 5 drones. He composed his army very well. He knew how many links and how to make to control the map,
right?
To not be under threat, and how many drones to make to build up the economy. Well, at some point we said that he might be forced to do all the Zerg and go all in. He didn't do that. He just went the economy style, and it worked really well